Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make a double exposure photo using Snapseed. It's a free app for your iPhone or Android phone. It's completely free, super easy. Let's get straight into the tutorial. Okay, so I have a few photos that I want to use, but they're not in RAW, so like when I tried doing it, a lot of the detail was lost and it just became really grainy. So I would recommend shooting it in RAW. That way you can bring out a lot of the structure and sharpness. Okay, so for this, I'm going to be using the Moment app right here. I think it's free for iOS and Android devices. So it's just it's pretty much, this is the interface. And I just want to go up here where it says the image sizes. And then here I can change like the different settings. I can choose JPEG. I don't know what this is, TFFF, what? Okay, anyways, I'm shooting in RAW, so you want to hit that RAW option, and then here you can adjust some of the settings. But I'm just going to keep in automatic, and then just shoot, takes a picture like this, and then it's going to automatically go into my camera roll. Okay, so I got some of the shots. It was on burst mode, so I was kind of confused why I was taking 3 pictures in a row, but I got a good like 9 set of photos. Open up Snapseed, open from device, and then you want to press on one of the photos that you took. That's a decent photo. Okay, so first what you want to do is do some basic adjustments. All right, so you want to go on tune image, and then you want to just brighten the whole thing. Before editing, when I was just taking the pictures, I should have lit myself well, like with some studio lights or something, but I don't have any lights. And also it'd be optimal if I had a white background, because that would make the whole process a lot easier. So if you guys have a white background and some sort of like studio lights or like any kind of lights, make sure they're not the yellowy one, like the yellow tint ones. And yeah, that'd make it a lot easier, because then you wouldn't have to go through some of these steps. In this case, since I didn't have a white background and my face wasn't lit, I have to go through and do that through editing. So I'm going to increase the ambience by like 25, brightness up by 35, highlights down a bit, shadows, increase those a tad bit too, contrast up a tiny bit, yeah, and then hit that check mark. And then if you hold down the image, you can see the before and after photo, right? Hit tools again, and then you want to go on tune image again. This time blast the brightness all the way up. Previously I just exposed myself properly, so then made up for no studio lights. Now I'm just brightening the whole image. I'm only gonna make the edits apply to the background, so I'm still gonna be like lit well. I'm just gonna make the background fully blown out, so it gives the effect of like a super white background, but it's not actually like that. Okay, so brightness plus 100, contrast plus 100, highlights plus 100, and then shadows plus 100. And then you want to hit that check mark. Now you want to go up here where there's 2 layers and an arrow going over it, up here, and then you want to hit view edits, go on the recent tune image at the top, then you want to hit this paintbrush icon. Now hit this icon beside the check mark, or beside the X on the bottom left. It's like a square with some circles on it. Now you want to just go over your subject, because you don't want your subject to be blown out and like super overexposed, right? Unless you do, then I can't help you with that. But in this case, I don't want that, and you probably don't want it either if you're trying to follow this tutorial. Okay, so just do the best you can, and then like what I like to do is just do a rough job, and then like after that just go in detail and just go ham at it. All right. Yeah, this might be a little tedious, but trust me, it's worth it. This is going to take a while. And in case you ever go like overboard, just in the middle where it says tune image, just go down to 0 and just go over the parts where you don't want the edit applied. And then go back to plus 100 if you want to just fill in some of the background a little more, like what I'm doing right now. Hair is a little tough, so just try your best and just get most of the blobs of hair. All right, just you know. It's taking a long time, my god. Alright, so now that you might be done, well, I'm done. This was really tedious, but just press the check mark and you should be well exposed and the background should be overexposed, almost pitch white. Now you want to hit this brush icon under tools, go on exposure, press the up arrow until it's plus 1.0. Then you want to press this eyeball icon, and then now when you brush over some of the background to make it more bright, you can see where the edits are applied, and then you won't like go over your subject by accident or anything, you know. So just do your best. All right. Okay, that sounded weird. Anyways, and then if you go a little overboard, just go down a few until it says eraser, and then it'll erase the edits that you did, like as you can see here. There we go. And then you want to hit this check mark. As you can see by my neck area, there's a little bit of the background showing, so I'm just gonna do that once more. Hit the brush, press exposure all the way up, hit this eyeball icon, and then just go in there, just do your best, go over it, and then yeah. Oh, here's a little part too. There as well. Oh my god. Yeah, you want to make sure you get all the little details because that would make the double exposure image just look that much better. It'll look a lot cleaner, and you know, the least amount of the less imperfections there are, the better it'll look. Trust me. That's like with everything. But you know, dang it, I feel like I just messed up. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go over it more in case I missed something. I went overboard, of course. And then the more you zoom in, the smaller the brush gets. The more you zoom out, the bigger it gets. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you do the things. There, I'm gonna hit the check mark, and it looks pretty damn good. It should look something like this. You shouldn't be too overexposed, just expose enough that you bring out enough detail in the image, right? I was too lazy to get all the little individual hairs, so I just kind of brushed them off. I don't really care that much. So now if I were you, I would hit export right now, and then that way, in case you want to make more double exposures, you don't have to go through that process again. You already have this image that's basically shot in the studio. Shot in the studio, you know? You edited it. It looks just like it was shot in the studio, you know? Some of the edges are a little fuzzy, like here, my eyebrows. It's fine. It's whatever. Now you want to hit tools after you have this image. Hit double exposure at the bottom. It's got like a Venn diagram looking icon. Hit that. You want to press this image with the plus icon near it. Now you want to choose a good looking photo that you want to make a double exposure with. In this case, actually, no, there's one more step before I do this. Since I'm not wearing a black shirt, I would recommend wearing a black shirt if you're doing this, because that'd make it look better. Would a white shirt work too? I don't know, I just know a black shirt would work. Since I'm wearing a red shirt, I'm just gonna hit tools and hit this black and white icon a few rows down to the right, and then I'm gonna do this neutral mode and hit the check mark. This way the color of my shirt won't affect the image, and like, you know, since black is a neutral color and white's also a neutral color, it won't really affect it. But since I wasn't wearing any of those colors, I just quickly changed it to black and white. I just experimented with it beforehand, and it turns out it looks a lot better. So I'm gonna hit tools again, and this time go on double exposure, and then press the image with the plus icon, and go on favorites. I'm gonna hit this one of a sunset, harborfront, because it has a lot of layers and different colors, which I really like. You can adjust the crop a little bit. Make sure you should watch out for the edges and make sure your image actually fits. You can like zoom in, rotate it, all that. So I'm just gonna do that. That looks good. And then if you press this tent or book looking icon right beside or right in the middle, you can change a bunch of these options. For example, there's lighten, which pretty much gets rid of the background and only shows the image on the subject with minimal detail. I don't really like that. You can do darken, which kind of does the opposite. It just shows it on the background, and then you're basically there without the image on it. I don't like that either. I like it a lot less. Add kind of just blows the whole thing out, and then has I don't even know. It doesn't look good, in my opinion. Subtract does the opposite of add, and it kind of just adds a bunch of the image, and then with like a dark overlay of me on it. I don't like that. And there's overlay, which is kind of like subtract, except I'm slightly brighter and there's no background. A lot of these modes you can experiment with, but in this case I'm going to keep it default because there's an equal amount of detail in my face and shirt and stuff, and like the image. And then right beside that icon there's a drop looking one, and you can change the opacity. If you swipe to the right, you can show only the second image, and then swipe to the left, only the first. I'm going to keep it in the middle because, you know. And now here we get to the good stuff. You want to hit this icon at the top again, and then go and view edits. Then you want to hit double exposure, hit the brush icon, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did with when we were making the background fully white, except we're going to make sure the double exposure is at 100, and then we're only going to brush on the subject. That way the second image only shows on the subject, and then the background is still white, which is the effect I'm going for. Make sure you get all the corners and stuff and like all the edges. Okay, so pretty much what happened is the phone stopped recording like near the end when I was masking out the double exposure portion because the phone ran out of storage. So that was my dad's phone. Now I'm recording on my phone because I use two phones because I gotta use one to edit on, one to record on, right? Yeah, so basically that ran out of storage and I have to record this part again. I can fill you guys in. Basically, after I was done masking out the double exposure portion, first off, I really took my time. You want to make sure you get all the edges because sometimes the edges get a little fuzzy and stuff. You want to make sure it's like really clean and stuff. Yeah, no, just take your time with this thing. It's really tedious, I know, super boring, but it'll be worth it. And then after that, I went into tools, tune image, and then I upped the saturation. That's the first thing I did because the second image I used was a picture of a sunset, and a lot of the rich orange and like warm colors that were in the original photo, not the original but the edited photo, but like, you know, when I added that edited photo into Snapseed to use for double exposure, I lost a lot of that saturation, so I just brought it back. I upped it by like 25 or so, just to make sure you don't overdo it. For according to the image, you might not need as much saturation. You know, sometimes you might want it like completely black and white. Yeah, so after that, I also increased the contrast, because when you add these two images together, then usually it adds like a faded look to it, because I don't know why, but like it just loses a lot of its contrast and like detail. So you just want to increase that as well. After that, I pressed that check mark, and then I went to tools, and I went to details, and then I increased the structure and the sharpening, because as I said before, when you overlap the two photos, a lot of the detail gets lost, so you just want to bring that back. I upped that by like 25 or 30, I forgot, but yeah, and then I hit the check mark, and then I think I cropped it as well, because in the photo I was kind of to the left, so then I basically just cropped it to make sure I was in the center. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know, as soon as you're done editing the photo like that, you can still like do more with it. If you go back on the top to that icon with a bunch of squares and there's an arrow going over it, that icon, if you hit that and then go on view edits and then press on your double exposure edit, should be somewhere like in the middle, right? You can just hit the adjustment tool, instead of going on the brush icon, hit the one to the right, which is like the adjustment icon, right? Hit that and then press that image with the plus icon, and then you can just add a new image. And then once you add that new image, like new colors and everything, just exit that, and then make sure you tap on your most recent edit, and then just go back, and then bam, then like it's a brand new photo with the exact same edits applied. This way you can experiment with like a lot more like photos really effectively, because you put those edits in place, like you do a lot of the edits, right, which are really tedious, but then at the end you can just keep on replacing images and just, you know, experiment with it, and then just keep exporting them. That's what I did. I just went through the edits once really well. That's why you guys got to be really careful when you're doing the double exposure painting and stuff. You want to make sure you get all the details and edges, because I've noticed that when I experiment with different photos, especially with different colors, you start to see those edits. Like you start to see the bad double exposure painting and whatever, the masking that like I did. So you guys might see the same stuff. So that's why you gotta like take your time first time around, and then it'll just make it easier for the rest of it. Just a little tip, all right? So if you guys want to, you know, from the same edits get a bunch of different results, just do that. And also, I don't know if I showed you guys in the video, but just make your image black. If you're like me and you're wearing a shirt of color, like right now I'm wearing pink, but like in the video I was wearing red, then just turn the image black and white. There's a black and white icon. If you scroll down a bit, a few rows, it's on the right. That way you can just, you know, just make your image black and white. It's the same as if you were wearing a black shirt. And yeah, because I was wearing a red shirt and it was interfering with some of the colors, so that's not good either. Yeah, I really hope you guys got some value out of this tutorial. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I think I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. I don't know why I did that. That was so weird. My god. Am I even human? I don't think I am. This looks grainy, and it's yellow as heck. Disgusting. Now it's even more grainy, but it's dark. Does that make a difference? The lighting is still the same. What if I do the lighting right here? Does that make a difference? Also, does this trigger you guys? Anyways, okay, the lighting in the room is the exact same. I don't know what I'm expecting. You know what? We're just gonna deal with yellow lighting, because it's all I got. That's why. Should I close the closet? Does it? I'm exposing my closet. Oh my god, you guys are gonna stalk me. Should probably put this to the side. Ouch! Just stabbed myself. Okay, this is kind of messy. It's actually really messy. Okay, let's see how it looks. Ouch! That didn't hurt. I don't know. Alright, I pray that this looks decent because I ain't trying to go back there and be disappointed once again.